Ndị be anyị ekelekwanụ m unu. Anyị sị ka nke chiri ya zelu. Anyị sị ka ọ mara n'ala Igbo na mma. Anyị adị ka Chineke ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru ya, otu akwa ya dịrịrị. Ise, ise, ise. Dị ka o si dị ụbọchị uhuruchi nketa anyị wetara nnukwu ozi. Biko geenụ ntị. Ife a bụ according to the Biafran activist wetara ya bụ ozi. Quote, Asari Dokubo regretted betraying the Biafran struggle. Ijaw Youth Nation leader to join force with United States of Biafra or self-determination on the bike. I want for good morning. Nnamdi Kanu na-ekwu ife afacha na egwu egwuregwu. Ịghọtago? According to the Biafran activists wetara ya bụ ozi, na the Ijaw Youth Council, everybody now is willing to go because of ofuti emelu unu unu ji wesizie na unu chọrọ ịna. Mana ife a bụ ife ndị ife azọba bụ before ka unu join ya, unu na-agba aka ekpe unu eso na Biafra. Alright, ka anyị for good morning. Unu ga-esi ya bụ ife kwunu n'ife one of the Biafran activists kwu gbasata maka ya bụ ife Ijaw Youth Council kwu and Asari Dokubo. Unu ga-echa unu drop ife nche n'udu nke n'iru akwụkwọ. Alright, over to you.
Ijaw Nation, I repeat, the declaration of a state of emergency by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Rivers State has rekindled the quest for an Ijaw nation. There are also discussions going on how the Ijaw people can join the Biafran agitation to also push for self-determination. For a very long time, the Biafrans have been pushing for self-determination because of marginalization by the government of the day. Now, the same Ijaw who felt or who is feeling right now that they are marginalized in a Nigeria, in a one Nigeria, is seeking for self-determination. That is why Vanguard put it like this: emergency rule, Ijaw to meet, decide on options for self-determination. I shared a video where these discussions were going on. People were saying that let us join the Biafrans, let us join this agitation. Let us see how we can move on from Nigeria, because it seems Nigeria has been unfair to us. Look at Jonathan and Ijaw president. See the gang up against Jonathan from the north and the southwest. You see the major parties that form the APC carrying all sort of propaganda. The same things that the APC kicked against during Jonathan's era was the same thing that the APC is, the policies they are putting in place. They kick against subsidy, carried a lot of news, made a lot of threats. So the Ijaw people see this as a threat on their nation. They believe they sustain Nigeria. If you take away Ijaw people, the Ijaw and their resources and their lands away from one Nigeria, Nigeria they believe is going to crumble. So now, this is how Vanguard put it. Tuesday's declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State by President Bola Tinubu has rekindled the quest for self-determination by the Ijaw ethnic nationality of the Niger Delta. Professor Benjamin Okaba, note these names: President of Ijaw Nation Congress. The Ijaw Apex Sociocultural Group told reporters, for Ijaw people, we are not too happy because we see this as another, note, we see this as another slap on us. But again, our position will be deliberated upon in a wider stakeholders meeting that will be convened later. So, they are looking at their options. We had an Ijaw president who was deemed to be weak. If Tinubu were in the position Jonathan was then, it would have been a different story. If Buhari were to be in Jonathan's shoes, it would have been a different story. That is why these people are calling Jonathan a weak president. Most Nigerians were calling Jonathan a weak president. Now, it seems Nigerians see the Ijaw people as a weak people. That is why a wike can go online and start blasting the Ijaws. What is Asawana? Who are Ijaw people? When you look at the map of Ijaw, Ijaw are more in number than any other Niger Delta tribe. Ijaw spread across Bayelsa, Delta State, then coming to Rivers State, going to Akwa Ibom, Ondo State. There are Ijaw people in Ondo State. So the Ijaw is spread across the riverine areas. When you look at their map, The same Wike is calling Ijaw minority. In Rivers State, the Ijaw has land and population than the Ikweres. Whether the one that is politically Ijaw, politically associated Ijaw, or the main Ijaw. Jaja of Opobo, according to history, was an Igbo man, and some of them are politically associated to the Ijaw nation. When Nigeria divides today, it is very, very possible that we have an Ijaw nation. We have many other nationalities, but when you listen to news, you listen to events, you always hear Ijaw nation. Do we hear about Ikwere nation? We know that Ikwere has ties with Igbos. Igbo is a word. Igbo. Igbo is a word like the people. So Igbo is, there are different languages under the Igbo. So any Ikwere person that tells you I'm not Igbo, well, there's an issue with understanding what the Igbo word means. So we cannot have an Ikwere nation. If you compare the Ikwere to the Ijaw, you cannot look at where you have an Ikwere nation. You have an Ijaw nation, because these people have common boundaries and ties. They cut across the riverine areas and they connect. You know, we have majority of Ijaws in Biafra, that's why they are ruling. So what Brink was saying was trying to look down on the Ijaw people, because we have had two people, at least I witnessed two people. They see Jonathan as a weak person, and they also see Fubara as a weak person. If Wike were to be in Fubara's shoes, because Wike also betrayed the people that brought him into power. So let's not say Wike will not do what Fubara did. Will not. Wike spat at the people that brought him into power. Now, if Wike were in Fubara's shoes, what would Wike have done? This would have been a different story entirely. If Wike were to be in Jonathan's shoes, what would Wike have done? So the Ijaw people are seen as a weak people. Look at what happened to their former leaders, especially in Ogoniland and all have you. Look at how Nigerians have dealt with the Ijaw people. So looking at that sentiment, not only the Ijaw people are being marginalized, the marginalization cuts across. And who are the headmasters? The Fulani. Some will say, this guy don't come again, you are Fulani. I'm telling you, any crisis we have in Nigeria today, the connection, you always have a connection with Fulani. Any crisis. I don't want to blame the Southwest, because maybe there are pawns that are used to carry out many atrocities. But everything that has, so far there is oil in Ijaw nation. Every step, everything must be made. Everything must be made to put them under check. Now the question is, can the Ijaw of today stand and fight for their self-determination? That is the point. Are they sincere when they say they want to join the Biafra agitation? Can the Ijaws and Igbos work together in fighting for self-determination in Nigeria of today? Maybe Nigeria of those days, it might be possible. But the polarization, the ethnic hatred and division that's being planted by politicians amongst the youth, young people of today, if you go online, social media, those that are spewing bigotry and hate, they are very young people. They are even doing much more than our parents, as we speak in quote. So can the Ijaw people of today work with the Biafrans of today? Can they find a common ground to push for self-determination? Do the Ijaws have what it takes? Do they have leaders that will align with the option? Because when you say the leaders, the professor said, Ijaws are going to have a meeting. We are looking for options and this and that. Do they have leaders that can really stand their ground and fight for their people? In the past, they have been brought to their knees by the Nigerian government because there was a directive. You can touch anything, don't touch the oil. Because Nigeria, every land in Nigeria belongs to the federal government. The resources we have. So far you subscribe to the 1999 Constitution, you're a part of the Nigerian territory. Your resources belong to the Nigerian government. And who are those that control the government? We have majority of the Northerners controlling the government. If you look at people that are even controlling the economy, they are not the Niger Delta people that are controlling the economy, although it is their oil that builds, that sponsors and that funds the economy. Look at companies, startup companies that are being owned by people today. We have the Northerners and the Yorubas. They're the ones that have a lot. Although Lagos has oil, some of the Ishekiri, some of the minority in Kogi and Co. Ondo also has oil. So let's not look at it from a lens that, okay, it's only Ijaw, but majority of the funds that keep Nigeria together, it is the oil in the Niger Delta. So the Ijaw people, do they have the clout? Do they have the what it takes? Do they have the boldness? Because looking at two Ijaw leaders, in quote, because Wike said, according to Wike, this guy is Opobo. He's not Ijaw, but he is politically Ijaw as far as we are concerned. So looking at this guy and Jonathan, look at their style of leadership. Look how they do things. They're just quiet people. They are not as rugged as Tinubu and Wike and Oshomole. This rugged kind. So the Asawana, the Ijaw ruggedness, I'm looking at it. Maybe those from the cliques. Somebody said that this one that Ijaw is calling for self-determination, if they see a bag of money, they will. It's an average Nigerian thing. As I Dokubo don't they count funds now? If they count funds, we are not hearing anybody's voice again. Anything self-determination, if you don't carry your political leaders along, it is difficult to achieve. If you just do it on the face of Ijaw National Congress, your politicians, your House of Rep members, the senators need to be carried along. Anything self-determination of Nigeria today. Because if you don't carry them along, they are the people that the federal government will use against you. Against that your fight for self-determination. So are Ijaw leaders, whether in the House of Reps, whether in the Senate, whoever, professionals, political leaders, are they going to subscribe to this Ijaw nation? Would they also accept that the Ijaw nation join the Biafra agitation? According to what we read online and what we have suspected, the Igbos supported the Jonathan administration. In quotes, sentiment have it that the Igbos supported a Jonathan administration who's an Ijaw man. Or the North said that Jonathan was even an Igbo man. Let's use it. Jonathan was an Igbo man, the Igbos supported Jonathan. The Igbos have supported politically the Ijaws for a very long time. But when it comes to some comments from some Ijaw people, you just find out that the Ijaws have never, most times, some of their comments shows that they have a disdain for their brothers in the southeast. Even though Jaja Opobo was an Igbo man, there are some ties they have with Igbos. Culturally, their dance, their rapper, most of the things they use, there's a similarity with the Igbo people. But you see, the division so much amongst these two, the old southeast region, as they split states, they made sure that they planted division one way or the other to make sure that these people cannot come together. So is there a possibility for the Ijaw people to join hands with Igbo people on this self-determination? I don't think so. I don't think it's possible. I don't think some Igbo elements will want to join the Ijaws because they believe the Ijaws might not be that stable. People coming out to cry for this, that, and that, they may be seeking relevance. They may be seeking attention so that they can call them. And what is your problem? So that they can patch with everybody just trying to make noise so that their noise will get to the ears of some persons who have to pay them or give them something to just don't make the noise again. Are the Ijaw people really interested self-determination? Do the Ijaw people want to repeat history? Look at what happened with Adakaburu and Saruwiwa. Look at what happened. I believe the first person to call for, I believe if I'm correct, if I'm not correct, I stand to be corrected. Yes, let me use the word. I stand to be corrected. I believe Adakaburu called for self-determination before Ojukwu. Zanijoma, first person who ever called for self-determination in this one Nigeria. And look at how he was dealt with by the powers that be. We had another person in this person of Sauriwa. Look at how he was dealt with. Can the Ijaw people of today muzzle what? Look at what happened in Okwama community in Delta State. Look at how ruthless the army was on these guys. Are the Ijaw people well capable enough? Do they have the people, the force, the men on ground to ask for self-determination? I doubt so. An average Nigerian has a price. I've said it before. An average Nigerian, even the Biafra agitation itself, people closer to the agitators compromise, even as huge as the Biafran agitation, coming from the days of Ojukwu, as huge as it is, people compromise. As sophisticated as it is, people are compromising. It tells you a lot about agitation in Nigeria today. So if the Ijaw people are asking for self-determination, we applaud that their bravery and the step they are taking. But you see, you don't wait until the sickness is almost wanting to kill you before you go to the doctor. They used to say, if symptoms persist, meet the doctor. You have had the first one with Anakaboro, you have had the second one with Sauriwa. So why don't you find a way of settling your differences with the Nigerian government? If you don't know, if you know you cannot take that route of asking for legitimately for self-determination, just know that in the Constitution, there's no provision for that. So know the long road you need to take if you are very, very serious about it. It is not an Ijaw that they give money now will start changing mouths. They give you money, you just see money. Look at the lords, the warlords of those days. They have settled them, they are calm. Those that have the capacity, that stood with the federal government, they drag it. Niger Delta militants, they drag it to Obasanjo, they drag it with Yar'Adua. Jonathan came, they drag it with him. At the end of the day, these guys, they even drag with Buhari. Buhari tried Tumpolo. Buhari tried to drown Tumpolo in the Niger Delta creeks. The most difficult place to fight, especially these militants, is in the Niger Delta creeks. The most difficult place, not even in the Sambisa forest. The most difficult place, one of, let me use the word one of, let me not run in conclusion, is the Niger Delta creeks. We heard stories about villagers were helping drowned soldiers. Villagers were rescuing drowned soldiers. And that means our navy. So that terrain belongs to them. So Buhari tried Tompolo. At the end of the day, they had no option than to come and dialogue with the Tompolo. That is what was applicable when it comes to the Nigerian people, the Nigerian government having this altercation with the Niger Delta and looking for a way to settle these strong guys. Now these strong guys have been settled. Who is going to push for the self-determination? You see, ordinary Nigerian citizens that are suffering from normal Nigeria, that are not looking at self-determination, they are suggesting a revolution. Not even protest. Because we know that protest is Sakam and J. Protest is Sakam and J. They will wait for you. If you want to protest, yeah, protest now. You carry your placard, you come, you stand. We no go gree, oh, we no go gree. You stand first day, hunger beat you. You will get work. They go sack you. Who are the people that will be sponsoring jobless people to protest? So after going through all those rigorous, even those that are having their own personal jobs, they go every morning and they protest. You do it for the first day, second day, third day, fourth day. You shut down your market every day. At the end of the day, the government just say, una day here. They will make sure that you don't get to 21 days because it has an implication. It has an implication. So they'll be waiting for you. If they try, they will come out. Somebody's going to sponsor pure water, and so look at the end bad governance protest. Sponsor pure water and this and that, and every end of the day, is somebody spending money to protest. It is not an investment that is good in Nigeria. The average class, where are they? That really love Nigeria. You see, even the average class, they complain bitterly much more than you and I. The big men that have resources in Nigeria, that have business in Nigeria, there's a limit to which they can complain. There's a limit to which they can complain. Somebody said something that Padeboye would not want to criticize Tinubu, because I don't know whether that person is right or not, because the government, it doesn't take the government anything to revoke the CFO of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. There's some big men that followed P2B to campaign the Labour Party. They had interest. When Tinubu entered, when the government entered, they surrender because they have interest. So protest, are you going to protest? Nigerian people say protest doesn't work. Now it is revolution. The revolution, who are those that are going to push for this revolution? I hope it's not Showore. I have said it before. That's my opinion. I look at Showore's. Showore he waits for people to be so angry, and some people will be talking about protest, want to organize protest. They will jump in and hijack it, and hijack the train, and now be controlling the train as if they are going to their destination. They will now swap the train from, they will now control the narrative. They will push it to a place whereby it doesn't get the desired result. They'll start. We have said it before. Any protest that is going to make sense anywhere, any part of the world. Look at George Floyd that was killed in the United States. George Floyd, look at him. George Floyd, nobody gave announcement. People just were so angry and they flooded the streets. Look at NSAS protest. Who was giving an announcement? People just all of a sudden jump into the street and were protesting. We no go agree, we no go agree, we no agree. They jump into the street. But come and look at your beloved Showore and co that are in charge, the head boy of protest. When it's time, they'll not start putting dates. You here, you here, you here. Federal government will be looking at you. Let's say they're not working for the establishment. We're looking at you. You here, you give them time. The only protest that works is protest that is not planned. But these people, how do they hijack protest? They plan it. They plan the protest. They make sure that they give a template. They give out the secret of the protest to the oppressors. And the oppressors will look at your timeline of protest and use it to work against you. Showore did the protest in the south part, the end bad governance protest. But the northern protest took a different turn. Not as they planned. You see some areas in the north, the orange berets were not amongst them. We're not sponsoring those protests. That's why you see a statement like, some people are sponsoring the protest. They did not mention the name of the orange beret guys. When I say orange beret, I know you know what I mean. They did not mention them. My brother, the Ijaw people, if they are serious, will know. And for River State has been put under subjection by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. No going back. You are mocking the Igbos for agitating, because Igbos have seen ahead how Nigeria is like. Man, we'll never start to just wait. Good governance does not come from snatch it, grab it, and run away with it.
Ndị be anyị ngwadalụ nenu ka unu si wee na-esoro anyị n'iru akwụkwọ ka efi were ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile Goodluck Ebere Jonathan kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ ịpụtasịgasị aka dị iche iche ka efi were ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife drọpụrụ ife iche n'ụdị nke gị na Eastern News 24 ebe anyị si wee na-wetara ihe bụ ozi ya dị oke mkpa ka emesịa n'ụmụnne m.